Okay, good morning. Welcome back to the live streams. Um, Let me just get these links out and then we can dive straight into it. But yeah, welcome back. Obviously, didn't go live yesterday. I had a bit of work that I needed to get done, but we are back. We'll go through a full update in just a second. Um, got a bit of movement. Markets are moving not completely how they would. Okay, perfect. Okay. Um, yeah. So welcome. Um, right. Let's do a quick update on the markets. So Bitcoin, crypto, risk on assets, all of the good stuff. They're not moving, or they're not as sensitive to the data that's coming out, as well as the movements of the dollar. They're a little bit behind, lagging a bit. So need to bear that in mind. Obviously, it's initial. Jobless claims today, so we've got a bit of data to get through. But yeah, the markets aren't reacting. So we got a push up higher, but it was on the turnover last night. So this push up here, that came off. Well, the previous day we got that data from. Just double check. Oh, it was the weaker jolts data. Massive number. You are starting to see signs of weakness in the labour market, which essentially you should be getting large reactions from risk on assets. But you're not. They're lagging. Now, I don't know whether this is just pricing in for non-farm payrolls as well as CPI next week. But yeah, there's a slight dynamic shift. Realistically, it should be risk on. Things should be blowing the roof off. It's the one data point that has been showing consistent strength, and now we're seeing weakness. So again, you can also take it from the perspective of, okay, the U.S. economy is pushing, getting closer towards that recessionary talk. Um, so yeah, the markets are a little bit skeptical from what I'm seeing from the price action that we're getting. So again, we do need to be a little bit careful here. Obviously, tomorrow is Good Friday, and non-farm payrolls, and then we open up and we get CPI next week on Wednesday. Um, so lots of data to get through. Very important. It's We're going to get a big move. We could get it today just because the markets are closed tomorrow, so we could get some more pricing in for non-farm payrolls and CPI next week. But yeah, the big ones obviously next week. CPI is going to be massive. Again, the markets are pricing in a pause in May, and then a cut in July. So do bear that in mind. At the moment, the data's kind of pushing towards that narrative of a potential pause. Now, realistically, that's not going to happen, but the data is still pushing towards that narrative. Um, so, I mean, yeah, let's see what we can get in terms of price action today. Hopefully, we get some more weak um, labour market data. So, jobless claims today. Let me just double check if we've got anything else coming in. Um, Jobless claims, yeah, it's literally jobless claims today. There really isn't anything else. We get that at 12 o'clock, if I'm right. No, we get that at 1:30. So an hour before the opening bell from New York. Um, so we're still within that range. Okay, we're seeing very weak sell side. So we're kind of holding on to support. Um, yeah, the volume's completely died off. So if we manage to continue to hold here, we could get that nice push up. Again, we've not really had a reaction from the data yesterday, really. So ADP came in much lower, which again pushes towards a lower figure from the non-farm payrolls tomorrow. Um, yeah, markets aren't reacting the way they should to this news because essentially it's good news for risk on assets, really. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a strange market to be trading at the moment. So again, there is going to have to be a level of caution placed um, on trading this data. But yeah, essentially, still, I mean, if non-farm payrolls really does come down, it could be the case that as soon as we open on Monday, markets come back online, that we do get a push. We could also get one today. Again, as mentioned before, the pricing in ahead of non-farm payrolls and CPI next week, and just setting themselves up right. So yeah, 30k is very much on the cards. As mentioned, very low volume, again very low volume period as you can see. Um, so yeah, I mean, you've got kind of a nice trend line to go off. So we'll see whether we break or not. At the moment, we're very much holding. So the longer we hold, the likely that we're going to push back up again. Essentially, we will need to start seeing that buy side volume start to come in. Again, I mean, this move here wasn't really backed by much sell side. So again, just a little bit of a restructuring and volume continues to die off. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a maybe a little bit more of a move down to trend line to this area of support here that we held once and twice, and then make a push up or potentially even push up from here. At the moment we're holding on to support, so we'll see how things kind of play out. We will need to have to see some buy side coming in. The dollar index has been all over the place to say the least. Um, this move here to this move here to the downside was the open at 1 in the morning, where we got that strong push up on Bitcoin. This one here, right? Um, and then we just kind of held this level of support. So this is your current local support. Things are still looking very weak. Again, there's a little bit of a pricing in for that kind of recession sort of situation that is looking like we're pushing towards, right? We got some nice reactions off ISMs, which we got yesterday and the day before. Um, so yeah, we'll see how things kind of play out. Again, we're still looking very weak here on the dollar, struggling really to push up. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like this, where we get potentially a data point that comes out, and then we actually start to move. Again, as mentioned, the markets aren't moving as sensitive to that news, so we'll see. Um, Bitcoin dominance has come from its highs, that strong point. So again, I mean, the altcoin market is picking up pace. All that we need is a break out of structure from Bitcoin, and the altcoins that get the green light. This is nice. Obviously, we broke through that trend line. We are coming down. So, the further we come down from that top, the more strength that the altcoins will have for when Bitcoin actually breaks out of a structure. Okay. But yeah, essentially that's what we got here for crypto. Let me just touch on some of these equity markets, um, just because again you're going to see how they're reacting as well. We were at resistance, right? Decent resistance, um, and then getting kind of the releases of those data points, to which we're kind of getting a little bit of weakness. It's not much. It is a little bit of weakness. It's actually relatively healthy to the overall bullish trend line. Again, I mean, the Nasdaq, it's all over the news. They're all saying and pointing out, okay, this is the start of the bull market, da da da. Um, see. It's very much in positive structure. We've broken through that trend line there. We are at resistance. Okay, so we're holding off. Again, I presume markets are kind of almost positioning themselves. Okay, so obviously we get non-farm payrolls, which is the big labour market data point. If that comes out weaker, then I mean, if CPI comes down, we could see a very, very, very strong push higher from the markets. Because again, you've got the one sector of the U.S. economy which has just kind of stood its ground and now showing signs of weakness, and then you put that together with weaker CPI, which is exactly what the markets wants to see in terms of, again, pushing that narrative towards a Fed pause in May, and yeah, the market should take to that positively. Now, the only reason why I'm a little bit skeptical is because how they've really been reacting to this labour market data. Obviously, we got that jobs data coming out on Tuesday. Um, and again, we saw a very kind of delayed reaction. You didn't really get much on the release, nothing much through the evening, and then as soon as that crossover came in, the dollar opened. We got that strong push up higher. So yeah, we'll see how things kind of play out. Again, we should see a decent move by next week by CPI. Okay, yeah, it's brewing up for a big move, that's for sure. Okay, so I'll touch on gold as well, and then I'll touch on crude, and then I'll dive into some altcoins. Now the previous live stream that we went on, a little bit gutted. We closed out a little bit early, just here. I think it was somewhere towards this top here, the structure. It was stalling a bit, but I mean it absolutely blew up. Target was $2,000, and as you can see, we absolutely flew. All-time high is 2072. So this is a very, very big move. Again, adding to that narrative of, I mean, this essentially is the reaction from your weaker labour market data that's been so strong for so long, coming down for the second month in a row, essentially. And I presume this is just pricing in for that recession, right? Yeah, huge move from gold. A little bit of stalling right now, again, ahead of that data. Um, yeah, I mean, there's still room for it to come down. It's a nice reaction, so it's just a cooling off after its huge move. But yeah, in terms of medium term to long term, this is going to just continue coming up, especially as we get closer to the one CPI. Obviously, we need to get through CPI first, but then also the interest rate hikes. Because again, if we get another interest rate hike, you're probably going to see this push up again, because there's a bit of fear in the market in terms of the Fed doing too much. Okay, and now I mean the labour market data has been coming down and weakening, which is showing signs that obviously these interest rate hikes are now impacted the labour market. Okay, so gold, still a little bit more space to move up into. Okay, and yeah, I presume it's going to continue. Now, not really got too much from crude after its huge spike post OPEC Plus supply cut. A little bit of a cooling off, a little bit more space for things to go up. Now they are stalling. It would be nice to just get a little bit more of a pullback here and then go again. Or if it pushes towards that 200 to then pull back a little bit nicer to support to then go again. You're probably going to see much higher crude oil prices. Again, this is not good for inflation, and this will feed through again. So bear that in mind. and putting it together into your analysis in terms of predicted future CPI movements against oil and energy prices and food prices are the two highest inflationary basket goods. Um, and yeah, this isn't good news, especially kind of the escalation over in Russia, Ukraine, um, putting more pressure on food, especially over here in the UK. Food prices are ridiculously high, and at low supply. Very hard to find um, vegetables in the supermarket. But yeah, we'll see. It's not good. Obviously, I mean, here in the UK, CPI went up. The EU again showing signs of revival, so we'll see how the US CPI comes out. Again, it's a different ball game over there. Um, but yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Ideally, you just want to sit back and watch price on that CPI reading, unless you're already kind of positioned before, where then hopefully you got a decent entry, which will allow that breathing room for the volatility that's to come next week. Okay. Okay, so that's kind of your update. So we'll see. We'll have a look. I'm pretty sure. So someone mentioned to take a look at. Let's have a little look. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay, so mm, that last green candle not looking fantastic. Obviously, it's got very low liquidity, hence why you're getting quite a lot of choppiness. Um, Structure is nice on the weekly. Currently holding this trend line, which is nice start to an actual move to the upside. Um, Come to this previous level of support, new resistance. So we're kind of building and accumulating here. Potentially still got a little bit more downside to come. Again, this is your trend line to keep an eye on. If we do breach, then you're probably looking at it coming all the way down here. Almost got a little bit of a range building up here as well. So, yeah, ideally, I mean, let me just have a little look. I mean, that was nice buy side coming in. You can't deny that. I'm getting quite a lot of sell side as well within that. Um, but that was a nice kind of input of volume and orders. I think there's still a little bit more groundwork to do, especially after that huge move and push right back down. Um, so yeah, a little bit more consolidation, accumulation, and ready to go again. But yeah, that was a pretty strong reaction there. So yeah, you gotta hold off a little bit. It's come to that natural level. Um, you've got like a local trend line just here, so we'll see how things kind of hold up here. Um, but yeah, essentially we do need to get a little bit more price action. It's a very speculative coin, that's for sure. So yeah, there's a little bit more loading up that needs to be done. Um, those that are just joining us, welcome by the way. For those that are liking and following us, thank you very much for the likes and follows. Um, those that are new to the channel, feel free to message us in the chat section with any TA that you want us to go over. I'm more than happy to do so. Again, it's not restricted to any market. So yeah, feel free to fire away. That's all good by me. Those again that are just joining us, we still holding two positions, two long positions. That's on XRP as well as Algo. Um, it had a very nice push up, um, but yeah, again, it's a medium term hold. We're chasing the much higher take profits, but this is very nice structure. Again, the only thing that we're lacking is that build up in buy side volume, but the price action is very nice, um, and we're holding on to support each time, which is great. So, yeah, we just need that volume to really start to kick in. Again, more than likely to see that if Bitcoin starts to make a breakout, that's what the overall market is holding off. Is Bitcoin finally breaking out of structure again? We've been moving within this range for a long time. Volume continues to die off, so a big move is on the horizon. We just need that breakout structure, and then the altcoins get the green light. Again, as mentioned, your Bitcoin dominance has come down from its very key level of resistance, as you can see. Um, yeah, there's a very big move on the cards very soon, so you just got to stay patient. In terms of actually trading, again, it's risky just due to the data that we're getting out and how the markets are reacting. Essentially, you should be getting these positive reactions from the risk on assets on the weaker labor market data, and you're not getting that. It's a slight dynamic shift. So again, you do really need to be careful if you're trading the news and sentiment off the back end, because it's not moving how it should. I mean, the dollar index absolutely plummeted, and Bitcoin held. It didn't really push up. It didn't really go hand in hand with the huge reaction from sellers on the dollar. Again, it's a bit of a risky market at the moment. It's not moving how you expect it to. But yeah, okay, okay. Again, it could also be the case. I mean, this morning that things just set up for that jobless claim um, this afternoon. I mean, we had weaker jolts data, we had weaker ADP, which I mean isn't major. The jolts is quite big, and then we got your ISMs as well, which actually saw a bit more of a reaction than the labour market data. Um, so let's see. Where's those ISMs? Yeah, so ISM non-manufacturing employment 51.3, ISM non-manufacturing new orders 52.2, ISM non-manufacturing PMI 51.2, and ISM non-manufacturing prices 59.5. They have all come down, but still above 50, but they have come down. So yeah. Hi, hello, welcome. Let's see what we can get. Yeah, I mean, the way that I'm treating things is very light this week. Um, just because it's again we try to trade. Crypto's playing to kind of being a little bit more difficult just because it's not reacting the way that it should. So it's playing a little bit harder to trade the news this week. Your traditional markets are mapping out to be easier to capitalize on. But again, overall, we're very light on trades. Um, again, whenever you're getting kind of the kind of reset from the new month, Um, Things don't move really how they should again um, on the release of these data points. Um, those are the times that kind of give you the opportunities, and it's not moving how it normally would. um, so again, the risk kind of pushes up higher because there's a potential switch up on the cards. So yeah, very low volume, so you shouldn't be expecting huge moves. As you can see, I mean, we should have really made a stronger move and continue pushing up um, because of the better data that we've been getting. But we stored at the kind of resistance level and we pushed right back down on very low volume. So yeah, the markets are don't really know how to really take this data that's coming out, but we'll see how things kind of play out. It's only the start of the month. It's only the first week, so we've still got plenty of time. Um, Essentially, it's going to be easier. There's going to be a lot more opportunities once the markets have the CPI to play off. Um, and yeah, if that CPI comes down, markets should react in a very heavy way to the upside. Again, because of their narrative, they're still pricing in and expecting a Fed pause in May as well as a cut in July. So we'll see. Yeah, there really isn't much happening this morning. Just have a little look if we've got data to come out that we can capitalize somewhere else. Yeah, there really isn't anything. Okay. FTM was looking pretty nice. Continues to look very nice actually. Um, that's probably going to be my next pick. I had my eyes on ENJ. It broke out overnight, so there wasn't anything that I could really do. But yeah, this is probably my next go to. Um, I mean, it's broken out. It's come back down. So essentially, we just need to continue holding, and then we continue making a move up higher. Let me just get rid of some of this TA that we've broken out of. Yeah, it needs to just continue holding this level, okay, and then picking up on put some positive structure on the short term, um, and then making a nice push and breaking out of this structure here. But yeah, it's this is probably the nicer looking one. Litecoin also does look good. Also due to its halving in August. Again, that's going to give it that bullish momentum. Um, Solana, we try to capitalize on again. It still continues to look good. Um, but yeah, those are the ones that we're going to keep our eye on. Yeah. Yeah, FTM looks really, really nice. Lots and lots and lots of volume. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this. I mean, it's had time to restructure, reaccumulate, to come down to support, set some very nice new support, push right back up, and now we're at this, and we're holding this kind of natural um, trend line that acted as resistance to the top of the accumulation range. You see how we kind of came back, tested here, broke through, came back, and now we're testing, testing. Now that we're building up on very nice structure, this is your pick for when things do blow. Just because this is insane amount of volume that's coming. Um, but this is all institutional money. Okay, this is positioning from the institutions. And again, this is very, very nice structure. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we make that push up to here. Your next real area after that is all the way up to about just above $1. But yeah, this is your go-to. Um, but yeah. Okay, right. We're not getting too much this morning. Okay, so yeah, we'll let things kind of build up. I know it's only been short this morning. Normally we're on for a bit longer. But yeah, it's very, very slow price action. Markets are going to hold up for that jobless claims this afternoon. So what we'll do is we'll come a little bit earlier for the New York session. So we'll be here about 12 o'clock UK time. Um, but yeah, there isn't much. We're not getting much data to come out to trade the traditional markets either. So things are just going to consolidate by the looks of it. So yeah, hold off. It's a slow morning. Okay, it's a slow burner. But hopefully we pick up again. It's bank holiday tomorrow, so again we should see some volatility start to pick up this afternoon. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining me this morning. And I shall see you this afternoon for the New York opening session, 12 o'clock UK time. Thank you very much. Cheers.